But that whole transparency thing, I remember when I started with DoorDash, I was like, how come I'm getting paid more after? Like, I don't understand because I wasn't on YouTube at the beginning. When I first started with DoorDash, I didn't even know that there was a YouTube community, like nothing. So
Yeah.
the first day I remember I
I
was
mean, most of us in this
yeah,
community don't even think most part-timers ever come to YouTube
exactly. So the fact
because
that
they're doing 1 or 2 nights a week and they're like, dude, I'm not gonna go learn about this. I have another job.
exactly, you're just thinking like,
So,
oh, okay, it's a way to make money, like whatever. But after that first day, I came back and I was like, there has to be a better way. Like, this is insane. I just drove like all over the place, barely made any money. Like, what is this like hidden stuff? No one's tipping. Like, what is going on? And that's how I ended up finding that there's like a whole DoorDash community on YouTube. So I feel like the whole transparency thing, they just need to put it out there. Just stop making people guess what
yeah,
they're going to be paid. And then you'll still have people that are taking these like $2, $3 orders. Because look at it on Instacart. Look at it on all these other apps. People are still taking these lowball offers.
yeah.
But yeah, then you'll have the ones that are taking, you know, the big orders because that's what they want to do. So yes, you'll have the outliers. But I think the majority of people, if you're honest with them, they'll be like, okay, well, this is what I'm being paid. Is it good or is it not? Instead of guessing,
Yeah.
like last
Well,
time I worked,
and then we have weird solutions in this country. In fact, we on the podcast that we do every week, we had Sergio last week, and we discussed specifically Prop 22 in California, Washington State's legislation, the new Massachusetts one, and those kind of push for a more you will minimally earn this per active hour. And I'm not a big fan of that either because I think a floor meets ceiling thing happens there. Because let's be honest, the company ain't paying for the people who aren't hustling and earning. They're
nope,
just taking it from the top earners.
exactly.
And I mean, it's the people who challenge me on that are like, no, there's no line item showing it's being. I'm like, dude, it's being done
Yes.
behind the wall. You don't know
Yeah.
what's going on behind that DoorDash wall.
Yeah. They're not putting in more money into this. There's no way.
Yeah, they're just moving funds to make sure these,
Exactly. It's
and I
just like
mean,
whenever a store puts things on sale, they lower the price on some things, but they increase the price on other things so that in the end it kind of matches out. Like no one's losing money here.
right. And even beyond that, it's not even a human doing it. I mean, let's be honest, on a weekend across just the United States, there's a couple million Door Dashers. There's
Yes,
just algorithms sorting funds.
it is true.
I mean, so it's not like, I feel for people, don't get me wrong, but it's not like they're out to get you.
No.
It's just an algorithm saying, take some from this person, give it over here. And does it make sense? Probably not. It's probably really screwed up and evil. But but that's how it works. Um,
Exactly.
but so you do primarily Uber Eats, and I guess the where I was really going with that was I wanted to know, like, is it that much better? Because I mean, I can't tell you the amount of people who are like, I hate DoorDash. I hate DoorDash. What's your primary app? DoorDash. Like, almost every one of the people that I talk to are, I absolutely hate DoorDash. It drives me. What's your primary? I'm multi-app. What's your primary? DoorDash. Well, there's problem number one just got addressed.
Exactly. So it's funny
Is it
because when
just a
I started,
Canadian thing? Is it
I think it's a market thing though, because when I started with DoorDash first. That was the first app that I signed up with. Then I went to Uber Eats, which is like a whole hassle to get on. And then I went to Skip. Now, in my area where I am, this is the suburbs. Where I started was like kind of city area.
Mhm.
And over here, we didn't have tip transparency at first with Uber Eats. So everything was coming in at $3. And I was like, what is this? This is ridiculous. What is this $3 thing? And then the price change afterwards, right? And now that we have, tip transparency, but they still hide, the tips and everything like that, I find that the customers here tip a lot better on Uber Eats. Now, there's so many reasons behind that. But personally, I feel like Uber Eats does a better job with the tips than DoorDash does because I personally order on all of these apps. Like Skip, I've maybe ordered like once or twice, but Uber Eats and DoorDash, especially Uber Eats, since there's always like discounts and stuff, it's great. But when you order on Uber Eats, that suggested tip that they give you is at a higher percentage than with DoorDash.
Okay.
So obviously, customers are going to tip more on Uber Eats, right?
Yeah, I use Uber Eats very rarely. I never use DoorDash just because of personal hatred towards the company. But I do have an active. My account is still active. It was mainly used for para testing, but
Yeah.
literally we go back to it. Just really offended me. But yeah, okay. So I'm
Yeah.
not familiar with the current DoorDash flow from the customer side.
Yeah, so it's yeah, okay. I heard because I haven't ordered on DoorDash in a while because Uber Eats discounts have just been so great.
Yeah,
But I heard that they changed their wording for, please put a tip because it goes to the driver or blah blah blah. Uber Eats has been doing that for a while. But it's that initial
yeah.
percentage suggestion that they give
I've
to the
seen that
client
too, and I
is
always think
higher on
this
Uber Eats.
being somebody from service industry, I'm like, those are good suggestions. This actually
Yeah.
isn't bad.
Exactly. It's not bad. And I feel like a lot of people leave it at that. And with Uber, they order a lot. Whereas DoorDash, I feel like it's like a lot of small orders. Yeah, I might get like, bigger orders, but it's a lot of smaller ones, like
You don't have the,
one
large
meal.
order program up there?
I'm not on it. I
Okay.
haven't heard of anybody being on a large order program over here. I did get a catering order once and I was like, what is this? Like, I have a catering bag. And when I looked into like YouTube and all that kind of stuff, everyone was like, oh, get a catering bag. I was like, okay, cool. I got one. I got a pizza bag. Okay, cool. So I put that in and I wasn't getting anything different. So I'm like, well, this is a waste of time. And plus, the catering bag with DoorDash is the flimsiest bag I've ever seen in my life. So when I got this,
It represents the company.
yeah, exactly. Like it's horrible. I hate using it. I actually, if I have to go really far and it's a DoorDash order, but it's a big one, I rather use my Skip the Dishes bag because that bag is amazing. Like it's the best bag ever. I rather use that than to use the DoorDash one because then the customer's food's going to be cold anyways in the DoorDash bag. Whatever. I'm marketing Skip. I don't care. They're gonna get a good order, right?
Mhm.
But with DoorDash, it's a lot of smaller orders. Whereas with Uber Eats, I feel like it's a lot of like family meals. So then already the order amount is larger. So then your tip is larger. So I think that's why I like Uber Eats the most. And it's a lot busier. So with Uber, once you turn, when I leave my house, I
Yeah,
actually turn on my apps before I leave my house because I live directly in my area. So I start from in my house. I
okay.
turn on all of my apps. I don't
Yeah,
discriminate. I just turn it all on. And I will get a lot of pings with Uber. You know, when they send you the horrible orders once you just get on the app. So you kind of flush through that. And then you start getting some good orders that warrant you actually leaving your house, right? Well, with DoorDash, I'll get a lot of those bad orders and then I wouldn't get anything. So
okay.
it's like, what happened? Do you just have bad orders in the system? And then Uber will keep me rolling. And then I might get like a ding with DoorDash. And I'm like, oh, is this good? Is it not? The DoorDash territory is so big,
Yeah,
but you also have that hidden tip. So this is the other problem, right? With the hidden tips. Let's say I get an order that's going, I don't know, like 10 kilometers away. It's still going to show at, let's say, like $9. That's not even a dollar per kilometer, right? So I'm definitely not going to take that. But that order can have like a $10 tip on it. If
right.
you showed me the real price, then I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. But now that you're capping it, all these far customers, they don't see me because I don't know what I'm going to get in the end, right? You're not going to gamble.